Hello friends, I'm Larry with Rides Done Right, and this is Journey to Track Days. Hello! Yeah. Boy, that was nice.
This car was already built by Strictly Street Rods. He got wiped out in the 4-lane.
I can have the most talented guy in there, but if he's not driving with the rest of the crew, it's in the back.
Drives the truck, drives the car, he flies the plane. Do you get paid 3 times? No.
This show, top 5 in America.
Well, it's the end of the day, and we made it.
You threw down big time, boss. Yes, you did leaps and bounds improvement. I was high-fiving you in my helmet. If I could have reached through and done this, I would have, but I can't. So
We were doing the air I-5s on the track.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, it was fun. I have to say, starting out the day, when we went out on the first one, it was like, I don't know. I know I've got a lot of things I want to work on, but the bounty of things I wanted to try and work in, I thought were going to be too much to do in one day. So I said, you said, let's just focus on it. Let's take a session session at a time and do this, and then let's see how we do with the next one.
Worked out good. Don't try and overwhelm yourself. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss it simple.
So let's go through the start of the day. We went through the first couple of sessions. What did you see right off the bat early on that you thought, that here's some places we're going to need to work?
The biggest thing was how cautious you were going in. Once you got into a turn, how cautious, timid, careful you were with any lean angle. And I'm like, your speed down the straight, your comfort level looking at what your speed was not matched by your comfort level in the corner. I wanted to get you comfortable there. That was the biggest thing I saw. I'm like, wow, we got to really help you here. Not the thing was alarmingly bad, it's just like he's being overly cautious. And I think helping you with some confidence, which I think you definitely got.
So I don't make any bones that I like to go fast on the straight, and Pat found that out, and it's like, but at the same time, I mean, anybody can get on a bike and give it the gas and shift. That there was more to it and needed to be more to it than that. And I had going into it this fear of corners, and we hadn't really talked about it to any of the people that are watching either. That I had signed up for a track day a few years ago, and 2 days before the track day, I was out with my bike and I wrecked. 35 years endorsed, and I never crashed. And I crashed on the corner. I missed the corner really bad. So there's a certain part of me that when I knew we were going to be going through corners, I always in the back of your mind you have that, okay, if I get in over my head, am I going to do what I did, which is I stood the bike up, and I wasn't going to low side. I just stood it up, hit the brakes, and then obviously crashed when I went off. So that was in the back of my head. So how good could corners be? Well, when you told me, I think one of the biggest things that you told me today that set in really quick was get your head over. Move the weight of your head over. Even if your whole body doesn't go, if your head goes, your body will come over. And when the weight gets over there, it will start working for you.
It's a huge factor. We call it biasing the bike. It's a body position technique we teach about. The head, most people's head weighs about 15 to 20 pounds. You start moving that around the bike. It's a fulcrum. You're out here, all of a sudden the bike just wants to tip over. It's the beginning of getting where to go. I played ball and stick sports growing up, and how many coaches, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how many coaches told you where the eyes and head look, the body will follow? Right. So you're laughing because you've been told, this sport is no different. So you stick the head there, you start looking there, oh, guess what happens? The bike follows you right there, and it's the first step of many things we can do.
So when you look at the corners today, which ones did you identify right off the bat that you thought we're going to need to work on these corners? I remember I told you a couple of corners that I thought, but what did you think after we did a session?
Just your self-preservation was very evident in turns 1 and 2. For the rate you were going down the straight, for the rate you're going through 1 and 2, I'm like, we really got to get his speed up here, which we did. I think the first few laps out, you were going through turn 1, 2 at about 41 to 42 miles an hour. Those last few sessions we just did, you were in 60 to 62 a couple times, and we were progressing you got to mid-50s really quick. once you started listening and flying. In the last few sessions, you could tell you made a mental switch that I want to go get some this last few sessions, and I was really proud of you. That was a huge one. Turn 7 was another. Remember I told you we were just tiptoeing through that, and I said, relax, you can really just carry the speed through, and once your bike position is right, you can carry the speed through, and you got that really quick. You were doing that 60 to 70 a couple times in there. Those are some of the 2 biggest corners I saw. I didn't know what line Pat taught you in 4, but you said you were going through 4 so much each day, and I was teaching a real wide arcing line to set up for drive, and looking back at my mirrors, and when I was following you, I'm like, you're getting it right. It's perfect. It's a nice, safe, easy line, and you were fantastic through it. And then, sorry to interrupt, but you made a comment about turn 3, like, Mark, what do I do about turn 3? I'm like, forget turn 3. Everybody crashes in turn 3. You can't take that much time. For you right now, forget about turn 3. Just get through it. Like, okay. And you did awesome.
It really changed stuff. When you told me that with 3, that was like, because I just felt like there wasn't anything I was going to be able to do from the first time out and then today that was going to help me in turn 3. But it's funny, I'm going back to turn 4 with Pat. What did Pat tell me? He told me what you told me, and I just couldn't do it. My frustration was I knew, he every single time he would take the line that you took and he'd go down in there, and I'd watch him, and I'd drift in every time, and then I'd go wide out every time, and I never got 4 down to where it was comfortable till today. And that's where I thought, oh man, it'd be cool to have Pat see me. Did you know Pat was out there that last run?
He was messing with us, yes. I was hoping he was seeing his star pupil out there doing good.
That little stinker, we were ripping too. So when he saw it, he saw us out in the back, and we were cooking. So yeah, I wondered, and I'll have to hook up with Pat just to find out. Okay, he's gonna say, well, I told you all that. Exactly. You just didn't do it.
Well, like I told you earlier, he set the foundation. All I had to do was clean up a few edges that were rough, and he did all the hard work. So.
Yeah, that was fun. So here, I like to go fast, but the one thing I really set out as a goal today was that I wasn't interested in the speed. After the struggles I had the first day with Pat, I told myself, I've got to learn technique, and I'm not going to worry about how fast I'm going down on the straight. I'm going to focus on these other areas. And what's funny is I know what my back speed was out back with Pat that day. I hit 116 was the top that I hit, and I thought, well, that was pretty good. And I hit 147 on the front straight. And for me, those were my numbers. But today going into it, I said, I don't need to hit any of that. Those first 2 sessions I think we did, I don't know that I was close to either one of those on anything. Was I getting there?
The first few sessions, yep.
Didn't feel like it. Felt like we were just kind of lollygagging.
Don't use little references. I was watching the speed on my bike. Whether I don't know my bike was saying, but you did just shy in the 150 range the 3 opening sessions in the front straight, and in the back you're about 115 to 116 to 117 in that rim on the first few sessions.
Wow.
So that
wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but the end of the story, or what's his name? Paul Harvey. The rest of the story is that I'll let you lead into that. How you did at the end of the day. How were you doing?
I was surprised.
How about that last session? What were you thinking when you went on that front straight last few laps?
All I was thinking, now this is the funny part, you kind of were saying to me, I'm going to tape your speedometer up, man. I want you looking at that thing.
I don't want you looking at it.
And so I didn't look at my speedometer on the last session. I thought, I'm just going to go up, because we went out in the last session, and after having seriously the funnest motorcycle day of my life was today, and after having so much fun doing what we were doing all day, I felt like, and I don't want to demean that we were trying hard, I felt like I was just screwing out having fun that last session was just fun. Right. It was just go out and
if I can add this, I'm going to put words in your mouth and tell me if I'm correct, because you, as I've talked all day long, your confidence was there and your competence, and you were still relaxed going faster. So you didn't change any discomfort. You had the same comfort, yet you were hauling ass.
Yeah,
that's what the goal we want to try to accomplish. Keep you in your comfort level, keep you in your safety level, and you're still doing everything right. It's like, man, I'm not working any harder and going way faster and in probably more control than you were before.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that, and I can even compare that to the first day with Pat. I had a goal of going through that first day and not scaring myself, so I'd want to come back. And I had a great day, and I had a lot of fun. And so coming into this one, it was like, okay, I know that I'm going to have some fun, but where is this stuff going to go? And oh boy, it just, man, when you see the videos of the stuff that we're going to put up, it's going to kind of speak for itself. We definitely had some fun, and that fun comes from not being so stressed out about it. And like you said, now it's not that you're having to sit there and try hard. You're thinking the whole time. I got to say, there isn't a moment when you're on a track that my mind went off onto something else. Everything that I had that I was thinking about was what was coming next and what was coming right after that, and that's all I thought about the whole day. Nothing else entered my mind.
It's one of my favorite things. I think it's one of the most attractive things about the track. The rest of the world disappears because the pace is so high and the consequence is also so high that you have to focus. And whatever your problems are, good, bad, they disappear for 20 minutes. And you have to be focused at your task at hand. And for, I think, for men especially, it's a wonderful self-discipline thing, and just to help us focus on it. And it's a great tool. It makes it quite enjoyable.
So where did I end up for
So
on that last session?
You want to do a reveal. We'll reveal the numbers
Yeah,
now,
reveal. Let's talk some numbers, because now you got me going. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't look. So what was it?
Well, when we were going down the straightaway, and I could tell from the second you left turn 9, I think about the second or third to last lap, I'm like, he wants some, and you did. You held it on gun. I saw 161 pacing you on mine, so that was about 10 to 12 faster than you were going most of the day. And on the backside over there, you were most of the day, like I said, you just, for whatever reason, just hit your magical 120. 120 was it. Larry would just back out. That last session out there, I saw like 131, 132, and you were like, just I could hear your bike. Rah! I'm like, Larry wants a piece. He wants to get some. So, way to go, stud.
It was fun. The fun of the day was when you go out. It was like if we turn the clock back 20 years to when we had bikes on the street and you used to go out with your buddies and just kind of barnstorm down straights recklessly, and you'd get off and you'd high five and it was all fun. This elevates all of that to such a different level. It's so controlled. It's so, everything about it's right.
Well, and it's one thing I want to do touch, and we're talking numbers that most like, oh my gosh, you're doing all this crazy speed. Did you feel unsafe or life-threatened at any point?
Not once.
And that's what I try and stress. The numbers are big, and I don't want to diminish numbers, but yet this is a controlled environment. We're working, I'd meet with you all day long. We're in a very safe, ambulance is on site. If something does go wrong, nothing went wrong today for anybody.
Yeah.
Not that doesn't happen. I don't want to say that it doesn't, but if you're going to do a risky sport, this is the best environment. You're putting as many factors in your favor for success, and we had a great day. And that's the thing I try and stress. People think, I have this thought that most people think the motorcyclists have our hair on fire and tongue hanging outside, and there's nothing going on up here. And I think it's the exact opposite. Not only do we have property at risk when we're going out there, we have our own body.
Oh, yeah.
We can be paralyzed, die, coma, whatever. So if we make a mistake, it's not just our car's wrecked or our bike's wrecked, our personal body is injured. So we have to be checked in. I always have said this sport is chess at speed. You have to be 4 or 5 moves ahead. Pat told you this too, former airline pilot. He always talks about never letting the plane get in front of you. Exact same thing applies here. Never let the bike get in front of you. So you take this mindset, yeah, we're talking big numbers and speed, but it's in a place where it's meant to be, where it can be, and it's still safe, and you didn't feel freaked out by any of it because your pace built over the day and you kept getting more and more comfortable. And we can, for lack of better, we can certainly decrease your lap times to mean those numbers are going to go higher, and they're not going to scare you either. We're going to still keep you just as safe. So.
Well, usually I've got a thing where, and a lot of guys will get this, it's a problem on the street, is you'll be riding with other people and your buddy takes off and he's going to show you, so well now you're going to show him. And I was not going to allow that to come into this experience at the track. I felt like whatever it is going to be, it's going to be. And the day with Pat, when he would go out further than I was comfortable with, I just stayed back. I wouldn't allow myself to say, oh, I'm going to macho up and go get him. And coming into today, everybody knows you. Kind of know you got a history. You know what you're doing. You're fast.
You're doing it for
and so
small success.
So I knew it's not. There's nothing to be gained to try and show Mark, that I'm a macho guy and I'm gonna keep up with him. We didn't play any of that any part of the day. Everything was instruction. Everything that we did felt like what we were doing to instruct and go and do what we were doing. It wasn't until like I said, I fessed up that last session that it felt like we got to play and just enjoy the day, and oh man, time of my life. So.
It is so fun. Like I told you, sorry for cussing. It's a kick-ass sport. Let's go enjoy it the way it's meant to be. And these bikes nowadays like this. Your bike is how many years old?
Man, it's 14
years old, and it's a perfect place for it. Yet new things are even better than this. You can't ride these bikes in the street like they're meant to. Bring them to the track in a place you can actually them up in a safe environment. You can spend a day like this, learn the proper skills, how to operate the machine right. Man, you have a day, you go home and you're just like, it's Christmas. I just had Christmas and I get to go do it again next time and have Christmas again next month. So it's fun. That's the way I feel. I call it the fountain of youth. I think this
I believe it.
It keeps
yeah.
us young. It keeps us in shape, mentally sharp, physically sharp. And other than a few crashes, it might slow us and make us walk a little funny. The rest of it's all the fountain of youth. So.
Yeah. Well, the community here is really cool too. I witnessed several times guys talking about, hey, I've got a part for you for this or that. It just, everybody in here is so cool, the way they interact.
When you're really getting ingrained to it, it really is that. Because everyone, sure, if we're not doing racing today, but when you're doing track, you're on the racing side of it, and like Oliver there, he's been a multiple-time #1 plate holder, one of the faster guys down here in club. If he has a part you need, if he's got his stuff done, he's, hey, here, Larry, take this, just cover me back. Because he wants to race. He wants to race against you. It's no fun for him to go out there and kick his butt by himself. He wants to race somebody, and it's a very much a family feel, and you'll find that all throughout the pits, and that's one of the things I do like about it.
Well, one thing I'll just throw in here, because aside from the whole track thing and everything that we did today, the one thing I asked you was, can we maybe turn some guys loose on the pits? It's a confined area and stuff. And it was funny how you kind of said it, because you didn't just go out and say,
Guys, we're going to have a camera at the end of pit lane for the morning sessions. I'm not going to encourage any hooliganism, but realize you're going to be on film. You give it a good shot. That's the way. Make the footage good. We don't have to say anything more. Mark wants us to have some fun on video. Whatever that means for these guys, and they had it. So the sport is so fun, and it's we all laugh and giggle, but the beautiful thing is the track is really the place to enjoy these bikes. That's
absolutely. Yeah, and it wasn't just the other guys that did it. You got called to the tower, and you decided you'd get there in a hurry, and sometimes the front wheel just has a mind of its own.
They do, it does. Yeah. I have no idea what happened there, sir, yes.
Well, we're having a great time this year. The weather was great. These guys are great. I'll recommend it till the cows come home. Anybody who has a motorcycle that has ever even hinted towards wanting to do something like this, Mark's really good. Get a hold of him. He's really great at helping you get into this. He wants you to experience it and see how cool it is. And I'm just cannot wait for next month.
I'm stoked for you too. The last thing I just want to have you, and I don't even know the answer to this. We talked a little bit about, I have a lot of guys like you that have been ridden for 25, 30, 40 years, and they come and say, what are you going to teach me? I've ridden for 20, 30 years, and I try and say, at the end of the day, remember this, you're not going to agree with me right now. What you've done is had 1 year of riding 30 times, and what you're going to have is, wow, I didn't realize how just that repetitive 1 year was, but I didn't ever really advance.
Yeah.
Now you've really progressed, and so my question, I don't know the answer, is how much do you think this is going to affect your street riding in a positive way? More safe, in control better, more visibility?
The rest of my life. It's night and day. 35 years that I've been endorsed, and guys that have ridden with me, some guys have said, well, I'm a pretty good rider. I mean, other than the one crash I had, I'm pretty straight up and keep it right on the road. But I found out the first day out how much I didn't know. And really, here now, 2 days in, I can't believe how I know this is going to help. The reality is having confidence on the street when a bad thing happens and not getting rattled and being able to just say, I know what the right thing to do and just do it, it's priceless. So, yep, it's going to be cool.
Good times. Fun times with Larry. I'm so proud of you today. You did great.
Thanks, man. Well, it was a blast, and you guys keep watching. We got a lot coming. There's going to be a lot of videos out of this, and we're going all summer, so we'll see you next time.
I like how we did that.